when I realized that there really is nothing to realize, when it's just completely clear, that day, I thought I don't know why, I felt like, yeah, the final drop will drop in those days. And then right after, it all came naturally. Or right after, I thought, nah, it's going to come today. And then a bit later, yeah, around 9, 10 o'clock tonight. And I thought that somewhere in the afternoon somewhere. And I knew that would be it. All the while knowing that was it already, if you will. But anyway, and so then I go on with my day like this, expecting something to happen at around 9 or 10 o'clock. And I think around 8 o'clock, I remember thinking something, and I feel like, it's funny, still nothing. And that made me laugh because I realized again, well, I mean, Maxx, there really is nothing to realize. So expecting something to happen around 9 or 10 o'clock, that's complete bullshit. Nothing will happen at 9 or 10 o'clock. And then goes, I promise you, 10 o'clock, exactly, to the dot, like to the fucking dot, 10 o'clock. Just a thought coming of, yeah, nothing happening. That was it. Because there really was nothing happening. And just like that, yeah, because I expected nothing to happen. Then I realized that, of course, nothing will happen. And so, of course, nothing happened. And that's it. That shifts everything, because there never really, you see my point here, there never really is anything to happen in particular, ever. Like really, the only thing that happened, quote unquote, really was that thought at 10 o'clock, nothing happening. It was not like something I imagined. I mean, yeah, it was imagination, but it was, what I'm saying is just, it was so clear, just nothing happening. Boom, nothing needs to change. And so, and that I had seen many times over. It was mostly clear, but there was the final jigsaw puzzle going crack, basically, nothing. And so life goes on, nothing changes. But that, because there's no expectation, there's clearly nobody here. It's impossible. It's not questioned. It's not thought of. It's not. There's nobody living here. There's no existence, if you will. There really is no existence around here, if that makes sense. Yeah. There's only this, what is, our talk, you listening, the lights, the stress sometimes, the no stress, tiredness, not the only what is. So there is no person ever interfering with that. The joke is there never actually was. And that's why there is suffering up until there isn't, simply because there is a belief that there is a somebody or something or an entity or someone, call it however you want, a me that controls things. Nothing. Life has always been, for that body laptop called Nikki, for that body laptop called Maxx, without a me, an actual Nikki or an actual Maxx or an actual never, ever. So that's it. There's nothing else to realize. And there really was nothing to realize. And it's not a play on words. There really is nothing to realize, because there is no one to realize it. And so it's impossible to realize that there is no one, right? Because it would take someone to realize there is no one, but there really is no one. So it's impossible. There is only this. And there's no wondering what this is. No, because what do you mean this? I mean this, everything. Life, thoughts, no thoughts, emotions, no emotions, no emotions. A tree, no tree. Animals, drinking, partying, no partying. Light, nothing to understand. It cannot be understood. There really is nothing. What appears really is nothing in particular. there is a seeing, a hearing, a sensing what is. There can be a describing what is, a self-talk around what is, all of which is what is this, nothing else. There never was anything else, and there never will be anything else. And this really is a proper, amazing miracle. It's not understandable. It's impossible to understand it. It's impossible to understand it. Impossible. Not even a tiny bit. So the thinking, the emotions, the feelings, so-called, happen on their own. Always. They always have, and they always will. And there's no need even to realize that, because of course it's always how it's been. And it's always how it will be. There's no, there's no Nikki that can realize that. There's just nothing at all, which appears as everything. My sock here, that's doing here for my time, right? Point of focus to point of focus, and the point of focus is simply your laptop doing its thing, hearing, sensing, whatever. It does it on its own. There's not a Nikki that tells, hey, laptop, brain, right? Laptop. Now you have to think. Now you have to feel. No, never. So when it feels there's a Nikki that is thinking, there is no Nikki that is thinking. There is just thinking happening. It's natural. It doesn't happen to you. So of course your stress from earlier didn't happen to you.
It didn't happen to me. I wasn't stressed.
Very good.
It was nothing. It was nothing.
It was
Just
nothing.
Normal. Nothing.
Just normal. Nothing. But you can call it stress, sure. That makes sense. It's calling it stress doesn't make a difference. It's fine. Why not? Sure. You can call it stress.
My body laptop was stress. There was no real. It was my body laptop that felt stressed. I'm fine.
Yeah. And you see, it's funny because I understand what you're saying, okay? But when you say it was my body laptop that felt stressed,
that's already, yeah.
I mean, you can say it. There's nothing wrong with saying it, but it's not. But if there's a belief behind that it is yours, that's not true. It's impossible. There is no you that owns it. There is nobody here. So you can say, yeah, it's my body laptop. I'll say it's my body laptop. Sure, no problem. I say me, mine. Does that make sense? No problem saying that, thinking that, experiencing that, but none of that is you. None of that belongs to you. None of that is close to you or far from you, because there simply is no you. So it's not like there's it's not about getting what I'm saying in the future, or it's not about I got it already, because there really is nothing to get, not even right now, because of course there is no past, and there is no future, and there is no now. There is no cause consequence, no causality either. I'm going to explain this. The only way for causality to exist, for example, I was late because of the bus, because of the fucking public transport in London, right? And it's not to say that it didn't happen. Of course it did, right? Of course. But you can prove to me or to yourself or to whomever right now that it actually did happen. Even if you were to show me the security cameras where I can see you this and that, you can see with the time, etc. All the time that it shows is shown right here, right now. It doesn't actually prove a past. It proves only this. So showing time of a past is this. Expecting a future is this. Thinking I am now is complete and utter bullshit, because thinking I am now is this too. Of course, and so there is no way that leads to this, what I'm telling you. And this is because this is nothing. And so there is no future you that will get this. or not get it, or fall back, or go back into suffering because there is no suffering, because there is only this. And this is nothing. So, of course, this is not suffering. Nothing is ever suffering. The only suffering. So, even if you're grieving because your best friend dies, all right? There is grieving. It's not about denying this. It's not about, oh, I'm not touched by the grief. Does that make sense? It's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that, yeah, you really are not touched by the grief. I am actually saying it, but not in the sense that you're trying to push it away. It's just, it doesn't happen to you. And there won't be a neurosis of 6 months, 5 years, 10 years, I don't know, of being depressed because of that. There can be a lot of sadness, sure, but it comes and goes naturally because there is no you controlling this. There really isn't. All of that is just an idea, a concept. So there is no, I will get this, what I'm telling you, in the future, because there is no future, because the future implies a present, which there is not. There's still only this. Thinking about the future is still this, and thinking of the past is still this. So of course, there's no actual causality, cause-consequence, that happens to a you. There is a logical, what is seen as a logical cause-consequence, etc., action and reaction, sure, 100%. But it never, ever, ever happens to you. A cause reaction is just what happens here and now, always. But again, there's no here and now, there's only this. So cause and consequence, causality, is this too. So there is no wondering what this is, because this really is everything. And there is no time. There is only a perception of time, because it's the only way that the brain works. Is any thought, if I say any thought, it's a thought, okay? Any thought is about is referring to a so-called past, be it a tenth of a second ago, or to a so-called future, be it a tenth of a second later. But again, all thoughts happen. I'm sorry, all thoughts are this now, but there is no now. So all thoughts are this. So thoughts of the past, thoughts of so-called now, and thoughts of so-called the future are this too. Because really there is no time, but yes, and there's no, it's not about understanding what I'm saying, because it can't be understood in the sense that it can't be, you can't use logic to get this. There is no way for you to get this and to try and understand it and this and that. Yeah, you can try to understand, but it's only trying to understand, but there's no actual getting this, because the idea of getting or not getting is nonsense. It takes time to get or not to get. There really is just and only this. And this really is nothing at all. So there's nothing to get, nothing to remember, nothing to forget, but there's remembering, there's forgetting, but remembering is this too. So again, the idea of time, of causality, is just an idea. It's just how the brain perceives things, but there's no questioning, no changing how the brain perceives things, because that happens on its own too. It's the brain doing its thing. The body laptop doing its thing. And the body laptop is this too, of course. So really, there's nothing to change ever. There's nothing to remember. There's nothing to unfollow, to whatever. But there really is no suffering. It was only what you thought. And there was never a you that thought that. And there never will be a you that will think that. It's impossible. There is just and only this. And this is not you. Well, your body is this too, but this is not you, in the sense that there's no you to be this. There is no Nikki. So of course, Nikki is free, but Nikki has always been free, and Nikki will always be free. It doesn't matter if you understand. You don't even need to understand what I'm saying now. All I've said, you don't even need to understand that, because there really is nothing to understand. Exactly, nothing.
Oh man.
And it's actually crystal clear. It can seem like it's crazy, but it's really how it is. It really is how it is. But again, when I say it's how it is, it's not that my words are true. They're just a description of this, just a description. A description, which is this too. It's impossible to miss. It's actually, yeah, you see, this is it, what I'm talking about is impossible to miss. It really is, it's unmissable. The idea of, yeah, this is unmissable completely. So of course, this is clear what I'm saying, of course. So there's nothing I'm saying that is not clear, because everything I'm saying is this too. This is impossible to miss, because this is nothing and there is nothing to miss. So this is completely impossible to miss. And this really is what you were looking for your whole life. But there was no finding this, because this is nothing. So that's it. There is no, that's like I said earlier, there is no, I will get this. I mean, you may get this again millions of times over and over again, but with no need to get this in the future, because this is already unmissable. This is completely unmissable. The idea of missing this is just complete and utter nonsense. It's just unmissable. This is clear. And this is not to remember. So of course, if you wanted to describe this, you could use all the words you fucking want. Who cares? Of course, because they're all this.